Welcome back to another episode of the WPS podcast. That is Why People Suck, in case you're new here. I'm Celia and I'm joined by my co host, best friend, and sister, Alejandra.
Hi, everyone. Glad to be back for another episode where we break down the everyday scenarios where people drive us crazy with their annoying behaviors and talk about what we can actually do about it, besides dreaming of punching them in the face. We say it so you don't have to. So today's episode is all about why people with no public transportation etiquette suck. Celia, I'm sure that you have lots of examples on public transportation etiquette since you live in a city that relies pretty heavily on public transportation, right?
Oh, yeah, so many stories. Basically, I use public transport all the time. The tube, as they call it in London, buses, we barely ever drive. So, yes, I do have lots of stories. So I guess one of the things that annoys me the most is people who just listen to videos without headphones or music or are on the phone FaceTiming without headphones. It's just such an easy fix. You don't need to bother everyone else on the bus. No one wants to hear what you're listening to. We're also not interested in your conversations. Honestly, I feel like sometimes people think that everyone around them wants to know what's going on in their lives and they're like so dramatic talking about whatever's going on. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care that the worst thing has happened to you. I really don't. I feel like maybe city living makes you less empathetic, but I'm like, I don't care. I don't care that you got mugged this morning and that you're in the hospital or whatever. I don't want to hear it. Shut up. I'm just trying to get from point A to point B. I don't care about listening to anything. I'm not interested in the news that you're listening to or the funny videos. None of it. I don't care.
No, for sure. I think that's a common thing for a lot of people that live in big cities. They have that same complaint. One of my husband's cousins, he's lived in New York his entire adult life, and he has so many stories. And one of his biggest complaints is like, I don't want to listen to your grievances. It's not my problem. Like, it's just not. I don't want to listen to it. Do you know who that comedian is? Sebastian Menuscolo. I'm probably saying his name wrong, his last name wrong because I can't remember his last name exactly. But he has this bit and he'll be like, aren't you embarrassed? And that's kind of what comes to mind is like, aren't you embarrassed? Everybody listening to your laundry list? Come on.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's the same thing I think about. If ever I have to take a call on the train, I try my best to whisper or be like, hey, can I call you back? Because I really don't want people listening to what's going on in my life or knowing any details about me. Also,
Yeah, for
didn't
sure.
you watch You? People could be stalking you, you know? This is a
That
dangerous world.
yeah, no, that's what I think. I'm like, I don't want strangers knowing bits of my life that they can put together and like and then be like, oh, you're interesting. I'm gonna start stalking you. You don't know who's out there. There's serial killers everywhere. There's like I should have looked this up, but I just thought about this, but like I think there's like a statistic about this, like in your life, you pass X amount of serial killers in your life, or like you're in a room with however many serial killers in your life, and you're like, what? I can't remember what the number is, but it's like one of them could be on the tube. You don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't they say like 25% of people are psychos? That might be a little too high, but there's like a percentage that is a little crazier than what you would imagine, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember any of the
Yeah.
numbers because I didn't think that we would be talking about that this time, but it's true. I've read that.
Yeah. No, me either. But yeah, listeners, look it up.
Yeah. Tell us what it is.
Yeah. Right. And then, so other things that I can think about is like people who stare at you on the train or bus. Just
So
that's
weird.
so creepy. Yeah. I'm just here trying to live my life. Stop looking at me. Sometimes I just like stare straight back and then that helps. They stop staring, if they're normal.
Yeah.
But sometimes they just staring at you. And then in that case, I move seats if I can. I'm just like, what are you looking at with my evil face on? Like, I'll cut you. Stop
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I've had that happen before and it was so awkward because it was like a very crowded train. This was when I was in living in China for a little bit and it was a very crowded train during rush hour and this guy, we were sharing the pole and he was
Hmm.
like facing me, and we were like basically face to face, and he just kept staring at me, and I kept being like looking other ways, like trying not to be. And every time I'd look back, he'd still be staring at me, and I was like, "Dude, you're freaking me out. Let's stop it." It's so
Yeah, I
creepy.
know.
It was like I can't even go anywhere. It's so crowded.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's so awful when it's really crowded and people are just like right on you. And if they smell bad or they're coughing
Yeah.
and don't cover their mouths, I'm like, my goodness, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. Oh, this reminds me of a story that like my husband's cousin again living in New York. He was on a crowded train and he tells a story way funnier, but basically he was standing there again on that railing thing holding on, and this guy that was also kind of facing him holding on to the same pole coughed directly into his mouth. Like he yawned or something and the guy coughed directly into his mouth and he was just like, "Oh my god." So disgusting. And he didn't even say sorry or excuse me, but also, if you know you're coughing, why wouldn't you cough into your elbow like a normal, decent person? I mean, like, even my
Oh my
5-year-old knows
gosh.
to do that.
Yeah, some people are just disgusting or hateful, honestly, because that sounds just like doing it out of spite, frankly. It's just like he saw his opportunity and went for it.
He
That's
really
so
did.
gross.
Hmm.
Dude, was that before or after the pandemic? Because now I'm like, did people learn nothing? You're gross.
I want to say it was actually before the pandemic. I've known this story for a while. So probably before.
Yeah. But still, what the heck?
Yeah.
Another thing that annoys me is that we're talking about being on a crowded train or bus or whatever, but there's people who just cram in even though there's no space. I wonder if you have any stories of that living in Beijing where it's even worse. Like I'm so suffocated in London. I'm like there's so many people, and one of my best friends in London, she's from Shanghai, and she is always like, "I like London because it's not as crowded." I'm like, "Are you insane?" They're like right on me all the time. It's so
Yeah.
funny the difference in perceptions, but yeah. I hate it when
It's
people
true.
just like get on the train. There's no room. Like, what are you doing? Wait for another one, especially in a city like London where they come at most like every 5 minutes or something.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah, definitely. In Beijing, I would try not to get on the subway during rush hour, like in the morning or
Hmm.
in the evening, because it was just awful. I mean, it was just like people on you, literally, and they don't care. Like they're like, as long as I get on this train, I do not care if I am squished and can't breathe. I, on the other hand, am not like that. I did not grow up
Oh,
that
yeah.
way. That was a lot.
With that, I'm also thinking like people who don't stagger when you do get on the train or bus and there is enough space, like sitting right next to someone. Why would you do that if there's loads of seats all around? I hate that. I always just like look at them like, what the heck?
Yeah,
I don't even care. I just stare at them and I'm like, what are you doing with my eyes? I don't really say it, but
yeah,
I'm just like, why? And then some people always stand right next to the doors and don't
yeah.
let people off or on. Yeah, I just don't get that. No self awareness whatsoever.
Or they'll be like, "Well, I'm getting off." And then the door opens and they still don't get off. So and you're like, "Wait, so you're getting off, but not right now? Move."
Right.
Like, if this
Yeah.
next stop is not your stop, move so people can get off and then other people can get on.
Yeah.
Generally, the rule is like, if your stop is coming up next, then you start to move closer to the door, right? Isn't that kind
Hmm.
of like
Yeah.
obvious?
It should be.
Yeah. Feels obvious to me, but uh,
Yeah, but some people don't. And then also when you get to a station and people get on before the people get off, what are you doing? It's so difficult for things to flow smoothly. I also really find it annoying when I'm standing up between the seats. So there's a space there where you can hold on if the train is really full. But then
mhm,
someone will get up before the train fully stops, like in front of me. And I'm like, there's nowhere for me to go. Why are you
yeah,
standing up like to get onto my space? I'm standing here holding on. I can't stop holding on because I'm going to fall. And they still do that. And they're like, excuse me. I'm like, dude, we haven't gotten to the station. Chill out. Like it'll take at least a minute while we're there. You will get off. I just have nowhere to go. So keep sitting, please.
Or just be like,
Yeah.
"Can we trade?" or something? Like, you sit down and
Yeah,
I'll stand up kinda if you're so worried.
exactly. If you're so desperate. Another thing that is annoying is people putting their stuff in the way or on a seat, especially if a train or bus is crowded. Just
Yeah.
again, no self-awareness.
I mean, I get it if you have a lot of things, but, like, try I don't know. If you have a lot of things, I feel like you shouldn't be sitting down. You need to find a corner because I feel like that's less of a like, you're not in the way as much, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, usually there are spaces for people with bags and luggage or prams.
A pram is a stroller for anyone who doesn't know what that is.
Oh, right, I'm learning all these words I forgot, and I was thinking, I was like, "That's not the right word."
That's funny.
And then other things I see sometimes is people who are really rude to bus drivers. They'll yell at them for no reason, and it's just don't be abusive to the staff, they're here to help, and that's just
They're just
really
doing their job.
difficult because, yeah, you can't really jump in because it could be dangerous for you,
Mhm.
but it's really uncomfortable to
Yeah.
have crazy people on the public transport with you.
Yeah, for sure. That's also scary. Like, don't start. This person is driving a giant vehicle. Like, leave them alone. And also, anything that's making you mad is probably not their fault. Like, they're just following the route and like they have to deal with the traffic so that you don't, by the way. So they can only do
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you have any other interesting stories?
Oh, yeah. What about like the people that wear the giant backpacks, kind of going back to people that have a lot of stuff, but are totally unaware and they'll like turn around and smack you in the face and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then like smack someone else in the face. And you're like, can you just walk straight and remember that you're wearing a big backpack, please? So you don't hit people.
Oh, yeah. In London, the rule is that you should take it off and, like, put it between your feet, and that is so funny
Yeah.
when I see British people being just like, "Ugh," when there's, like, tourists with big bags on their back. Because now I've been there long enough that I know the rules, which reminds me of another rule on the public transport in the UK is that you stand on the right on the escalator to let people pass on the left. And all the time when I see tourists, I try not to be rude because I was a tourist once, but with the British people, what do they call it? They do which in the
Yeah.
UK, that's like real shame. If you get one of those, it's like really shameful.
Well, really? Okay. Well, good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
that's one of those things that's like you have to remember that when you're in a place that has the opposite driving because like obviously for me my thing is I get on the right because that's what we do here. You get on the right to let people pass on the left, but obviously in the UK it's you get on the left to let people pass on the right. It's the opposite. So,
No, it's actually the same for
oh, it
whatever
is.
reason, like, with the standing yeah, you stand on the right.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They
you
do it
did
the
too.
opposite, yeah.
I get my lefts and rights confused in English. I always do. It's so weird. And so when you said right in my brain, it was like, "Oh, yeah, left. That makes sense because you live in the UK."
Yeah, no, I always thought that was weird, actually, that is not the opposite, yeah.
Okay.
I once got so mad at someone because they got mad at me first. I was getting off the train to go, change lines to another one, so there's a tunnel, and I was coming off, and then on the left-hand side to walk into the tunnel, and then someone did that to me, and I was like, "What the hell?" I actually got angry, and I said, "Keep left, you idiot." Because how dare he get mad at me when I was doing the right thing? He was
Yeah.
just, like, rushing to get on the train that I got off of.
Oh,
Yeah, coming out of the tunnel.
good for you.
Yeah, yeah, I don't let people abuse me on public transport. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But that, comes with time because I remember being scared in a lot of occasions, like, when I lived in Houston and I took the, tram there, I remember a lot of people would get on that were on drugs, and they would just sit really close and stare at me, and I just didn't know what to do, and I was so uncomfortable. Obviously, I was a lot younger. I was in college, And yeah, it just made me really uncomfortable. But now I'm like, if you stare at me, I'm gonna stare right back at you. And I'm just gonna be like, what? What? You mess with me? I get like public transportation rage. Not road rage, but
Act like a psycho. They'll stay away from you if you act like a psycho.
yeah. And I remember when I lived in Paris too, I had a scary encounter on the metro there because I was going back home on the metro quite late, and this guy just came over and talked to me. I don't remember what he wanted, but he was being really creepy, and I was like, "I'm not interested. Like, I don't speak French." I'd say to him in French, and then he would talk to me in English, and I'm like, "Oh no, like I'm not interested." So I texted my friend that I lived with, and I was like, "Can you please come meet me at the station?" See, that's also another thing to do if you're scared, like have someone know where you are and come get you too if it's possible. He didn't get off with me, but it could have been scary, you know?
Yeah. Or if you feel like somebody's following you, go into a business and just like stay there for a while. Even if it's
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
restaurant, you just like step in and be like, "Hey, somebody's following me. Can I just hang out here for a bit? Like I don't feel safe." And I'm sure they will totally say it's fine.
Or like at a station, find someone who is
Mhm.
staff because usually there will be someone and like
Yeah.
stay around the CCTV and stuff. That's another
Mhm.
thing.
I had other examples. Oh, another one is people who bring their food, like their full meals, not just a snack, like a full on like McDonald's burger, fries, drink, the whole thing, and just set up shop there like it's a restaurant.
Oh gosh, yeah, it smells so bad. Oh my goodness. Even if it is food, like, I don't know, it's just the smells too much in a confined space.
Yeah, the thing is that the smell isn't going anywhere. It's just sitting there. Have you ever had anybody be like putting nail polish on or something? That's something I heard. Again, my husband's cousin said that he was on the subway once and some lady was putting on nail polish and he was just like, dude, what do you, that smells so bad.
Yes. Anything with smells, like, don't do anything stinky on the train or bus. Like, also people who put their feet on chairs,
Oh,
like
yeah.
their bare feet. Oh, so gross. Yeah.
That's gross. You don't know where that
Yeah.
floor has been.
No. Honestly, some people don't have any sense of, like, cleanliness.
Like, just look at it. It doesn't look clean.
No.
Ugh.
Yeah, so gross.
Ew.
Oh, I'm also thinking one time when I was going to the airport really early on the bus, there was this guy who tried to get on the bus, but he didn't have enough money to pay, and he kept the bus there for such a long time, and the driver kept saying like, "You can't get on the bus," and I was just like looking at my watch like, "Get the heck off, I need to get to the airport." Just some
Yeah.
people who think like that the public transport is just there for them and like, no, you're holding up everybody else. That was just such
Yeah.
a weird situation.
Yeah, for sure. So many weird things that happen on public transportation. I feel like public transportation is basically like a live action social experiment where people forget how to act in public at the exact same time.
Yeah, actually, that's a great way to describe it, seriously. Everyone is crazy.
Like even people who are not generally crazy in other aspects of their life for some reason when it's public transportation they're just like whatever. I don't care. I'm not
Yeah.
crazy. Oh, actually this happened one time to us in London when we were going to the airport. I think it might have been the last time we were visiting you and we were going to the airport and this family comes running down the stairs and the they do the rah, rah, to alert you that the doors are about to
Yeah.
close. And the mother rushed in and she like tried to hold the door open so her family because she was like running and they all had luggage and she didn't. So she was ahead of them. So she got ahead, tried to open the door with her hands, and of course that thing closed. And instead of stepping out, she steps in and left her
What?
family. And she was like panicking. And then she was panicking, and I was like, "Just get off at the next one. I'm sure they'll be at the next one." Because she was like, "Oh my gosh," she was American. She was like, oh my gosh, what do we do?" And I was like, "Lady, just get off at the next one. I'm sure they're gonna hop on the next one, and then you will be on the
Yeah.
exact same. Just like get off there. don't move, and then get on the next one. She was like, okay, okay. And I was like, calm down. It's gonna be
Oh,
okay.
good, you helped her. I was gonna say, did you
Yeah.
actually yeah, good, good.
No,
Yeah, I mean, that's the logical thing to do, but I guess she was so panicked that
yeah.
logic escaped her.
But she was totally panicked. And I was like, are you late to the airport? And she goes, our flight leaves in 3 hours. And I was like, you're fine. You'll be fine. This will take 45 minutes and you'll still have plenty of time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's another thing where you try to stop the train, like, don't do it. There'll be another one. Don't inconvenience everybody else.
It's also dangerous. I mean, those doors are heavy.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, one last thing I want to say about public transport because we're saying how people can be really annoying and crazy on it. I will say that public transport does make you crazy, especially when it doesn't work. Because when I was living in Houston, there was a time when my car wasn't working. So I was taking the bus to work. I know in Houston, crazy. Well, I felt like I was going insane because the buses would never show up on time. So then I would be on the bus all frazzled and acting like a crazy person. So now I'm like, I don't judge crazy people on the bus now in cities in
Yeah.
the US because the unreliability of it really does make you crazy.
No,
I'm
it
glad
does.
that it was a short period of time, but it really sucked. Like it would take 40 minutes. Like Google would say bus arriving in 2 minutes. And then due to the traffic and not having any bus lanes, it would show up 40 minutes later. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, that's how the buses are here too. They're so unreliable, which is why we just don't ever take them. But when I had to take it for a while, it was the same thing. It would be like, oh, the bus will be here in 2 minutes. And then it was like 30 minutes later. I'm like, where is the bus? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And it was mostly in the afternoon because it was like I got to work so early that the bus in the morning was fine. But in the afternoon when I left at 5 o'clock, it was like it was never there at 5:10. It was like 5:35, 5:40 that I was getting on the bus. And I still had like another 30, 45 minutes to get to my house. And it was just like, oh my gosh, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I don't know if you ever experienced this in Houston, but here the buses, if they're running early or like if the bus driver has to take a break, like it's their time to take a break, they'll just stop at a stop without telling you for like 15 minutes. And you're just like,
Yeah.
are we, hello? Like, can you
Mhm.
tell me about that? Like, I didn't realize that we were going to stop at this stop for 15 minutes. Like, I should have just taken an Uber or walked. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I did experience that. Actually, it didn't happen to me in Houston because I was, like, really close to work, but well, I guess it coulda happened anyways, but it has happened in London, so, yeah, that's, I guess, universal and really annoying.
It's so annoying.
Yep. Alright. You have any final stories you wanna share with everyone?
I think that's everything I can think of for now.
Yeah, same. I'm sure more things will happen to me. But yeah, just to start, those are the things I can remember right now. But listeners, we'd love to hear if you have any interesting stories on public transportation. What has happened to you? Who have you encountered? Let us know.
Yeah, please let us know.
And also DM us at the WPS podcast and let us know your stories. Follow us and see you next time. We said it, so you didn't have to. Hope to see you next time for another conversation on why annoying people are the way they are and what we can do about it. Till next time.
Bye.